It's not what things you leave for your children, but what you leave in your children that truly counts in life. Hello friends, this is Stella Sanobokelo, welcoming you again to the Family Enrichment Hub, your center for enrichment and growth. I want to thank those of you who have truly supported this channel to the far that it has reached, and just encouraging all of us to kindly share these weekly messages widely so that we can be able to reach as many families as possible. Today I want to be speaking about having clear parental priorities. Recently, I had a privilege at the beginning of the year to attend a swearing-in ceremony of my little girl at school. We were so delighted to attend this ceremony because our child was one of the prefects that was being sworn in, and it was so important for us because being the youngest in the house, it was such a thrill for us as parents to attend in person the swearing in of our child, and just to give her moral support on her big day, to celebrate her leadership journey and achievement as a prefect within her school. So while we were attending the ceremony, with all the excitement and fanfare that was happening, there was a downside to this ceremony. One particular child did not have a parent, a friend, or any relative who had come to witness her taking her oath as a prefect. And so when her turn to swear in approached and she was called to the stage to do the oath, this child broke down. She could not take it. She could not imagine the head teacher and the director being the ones standing in for her as her parents. She cried so uncontrollably, and the function got so emotional. They tried to console her and give her strength and comfort her so that she could do the oath, but the young girl failed. On the second attempt, she still could not do the oath. She was just in uncontrollable tears. So at the end of it all, she did her oath towards the end of the ceremony. Why am I sharing this story? Just to help us appreciate as parents that sometimes our priorities need to be properly aligned. On a day like that, which is a very critical and important milestone in a child's life, the least she expected was to see her parents giving her moral support as she does her oath of being a prefect. And so it's important for us to really align our priorities right within our families. We also had an incident within our family here. God has really blessed us with mentally sound children, very assertive, very confident, and we bless the Lord for that. Now, one of the children we noticed was taking a downward spiral in the academics, and the challenges really got to the peak. And as parents, we needed to have a quick engagement, and we called our child just to understand the root cause of this challenge that the child was going through. And we were so lucky that when we opened up and took interest in understanding what exactly was going on in our child's life, the child was able to tell us that something was actually not right. Something had caused her to lose interest in her academics. And we were able to quickly arrest this, because beyond just paying fees, beyond providing the necessary scholastic materials that the children need at school, there is much more we need to do to be engaged and involved in the progress of our children. And so I'm bringing this just to emphasize the fact that when you're present, when you make it a priority to have the welfare and the well-being of your child at the center of your activities, you'll be able to notice anything that is not going right. You'll be able to notice any negative aspects that are happening within the life of your child. And so just to encourage all of us again as parents, let's be present, let's be interested, let's be available to know what exactly is happening in the lives of our children. And thankfully, with the interventions that we put in place to try and rescue the situation of our child, the child is back on track and is actually progressing quite well. I've also seen and witnessed so many families that have gone through experiences where only one parent is present in the lives of the children, where the other parent is chasing after other dreams and they are totally absent and missing in action in the progress and development of the children. And I witnessed some of these children make statements like, when they grow up, they are truly going to reward the parent that has been available for them. And then you also hear others making very specific prayers, very, very passionate prayers for the parent who is available and supporting them in their day-to-day well-being. So I urge all of us as parents, let's be present. Let's realign our priorities. Even while we are doing so many things, let's understand that the criticality of our success, our children's welfare and well-being should come number one over any other thing. Allow me share some further insights with regard to this topic. I was listening to a talk show on parenting, and what caught my attention so much there was when we were being told that our job as parents is to prepare and make our children ready for the next level in their life. How will you prepare your children for the next level in life when you don't even know what is happening on their current level? And how do we prepare our children for the next level in life? By doing deliberate parenting, by doing what I call regular talk sessions, and if possible, daily talk sessions with our children. This is a digital generation that we are raising. It's not like our olden days where every little thing we would understand with a chiboko. Parents pulled out chiboko on every mistake that we made. Today, you cannot be a successful parent who is using a lot of chiboko as a means and a tool of communicating and doing correction with your children. So we need to have as regular talk sessions as possible, speaking about issues of life, talking about what is going on, what is happening all around us. Let's be involved, let's be present, let's be alert, so that we are able to indeed show our presence and our interest and our impact in the lives of our children. When you also look at parents who are actually busy chasing money, we appreciate we have to work, because how shall we pay fees? How shall we meet our bills when we are not working? But I would like to help us appreciate that, like the Bible says, there is a time for everything under the sun. When it is time for work, let's put in the work that needs to be done. When it is time for parenting, when it is time for family, let's be available, let's be present. In that way, we shall actually leave a permanent imprint, a permanent positive mark, and we shall prepare our children for the next level in their lives. Don't be too quick to hand your child or your children to relatives. I see parents make this mistake a lot. I truly appreciate that sometimes life happens and you find yourself forced to hand over your children to relatives for purposes of their continuity. But in as far as is possible with you as a parent, I encourage all of us to live with our children. Why? Because it is critical for us to be available to give the necessary support, especially in the formative years of their character and spiritual development. You cannot delegate that to another person. You need to observe the progress. You need to observe the milestones. You need to be present to witness how your child is moving from stage to stage and from level to level. Now, when you hand your child to relatives and other people to live with, how are you going to be in control? Whom will you blame at the end of the day when the child turns out in a way that you do not desire? Let's be present. Let's not be too quick to hand over our children to people and to relatives. And also in the video which I did, some months ago on being present in the lives of your children. I mentioned that here in the Bokelo household, we look forward to visitation days of our children. Why? Because visitation day is our opportunity within the term to be able to interact with the children and understand what exactly is going on, to understand what are the new trends, what are the things that are happening to them, what are the latest news, what exactly is happening in their lives. And so when you miss out on the visitation days, you actually miss an opportunity for a lengthy conversation and interaction with your children, because that is how you get to know what exactly is going on, what is developing, what is going astray in the life of your child. So I encourage all of us, let's be present. Let's embrace those visitation days, because it's a beautiful opportunity to give us revelation and a sneak peek into the children's activities at school. And like they say, what you sow in life, you reap. I've also seen some very unpleasant incidents where parents do not pay attention to issues to do with visitations. They don't take it as a priority. And eventually when children grow up, I have witnessed where children say they do not have time for their parents as well. Why? Because the parents showed that their priorities were totally different during the time when the children needed them. And then when it is time, when the parents need their children to come and visit them, the children are absent because they saw what their parents did to them. And so for many of them, it becomes like a payback time. You didn't give us priority, and so we shall also not give you priority. You don't want that to happen to you. And also when you look at the issues of LGBT that are happening, the reality is children are being recruited within the schools. And so if you do not give your children priority, you will not notice when your child has been recruited into this vice. Also look at the issues of substance abuse in schools. Children are doing drugs, children are doing alcohol. And so if you're not a priority, if your children are not a priority in your life, you will not know. You will not know when your child started doing drugs and alcohol. The only way you can be able to tell is by being present physically, by being active, by having these regular engagements with your child. You'll be able to understand when things are actually going wrong. I want to conclude with this, friends. It is not how much school fees you pay and how much food you provide and the shelter that we give to our children that will really matter at the end of the day. What will matter, like I mentioned in our opening quote, is what you truly live, the virtues and the values that you live in your child. Be present in the lives of your children. Be active. Give them priority. Leave a positive imprint and mark in your children's lives that will live with them even way after you have gone. Thank you, friends, for listening in. Kindly share widely, for this is how we shall transform our society through the family. God bless you. Bye.